Through the middle of the series now, as we are, Hyulick continues to try and find resolve as the resistance group tries to overcome its hardships and prepare to take on Tytania. Tytania itself is suffering from civil war and the questionable intentions of the Duke Idris, who has his sights on Balami. Lane continues to be more the voice of reason as his talent gets more and more recognized, and he himself seen as the best choice to move up in power. Zarlisk is in an irrational rage due to the death of his brother Alcis and his strong desire to get revenge on Van Hyulick. As of this moment, Tytania is a 10 out of 10 for me. It does well in bringing back the epic space opera feeling of Legend of the Galactic Heroes and being its own work rather than just a cheap copy. Tytania itself is fascinating. The character designs are great and adorable for characters like Lydia. The music is decent, and the journey of Van Hyulick is exciting as he sarcastically and jokingly tries to figure out his purpose and mission in the universe. Hyulick, now enraged with the death of Lyra, goes after Alcis like a rabid dog. No longer is he hesitant or apathetic towards war, he takes a fleet and rushes towards trying to kill him. Alcis, who is a useless coward, is panicking because he knows that he is being hunted, and begs the Duke Idris to help save him. But Idris already had a plan of letting Hyulick kill Alcis, so he may move in to avenge his death and raise his own popularity. Alcis is scared because Idris told him to only bring one ship, and decides to launch 3 more to confuse Hyulick. However, Hyulick's men figure out which ship is his because of the detection of sensitive transmissions coming from Alcis' ship towards Idris. Alcis' ship is then brutally shot down and torn apart by Hyulick's fleet. Revenge is sweet, and Hyulick himself stops to slaughter Alcis and deliver the final blow. Elsewhere, Alcis calls his mom in a panicked way. She sees him like this and wonders why he is wearing a mask. That is because in the last video I explained his face was torn off by the pet fish. As the ship prepares to explode from Hyulick's final blow, Alcis screams and his mask falls off to the shock of his mom and his brother, and the video cuts off and he dies. His mother faints out of horror as Zarlick catches her. Hyulick gets his revenge, but decides to run away as he is haunted by the death of Lyra. Back in Tytania, Balami's father and a few nobles plot to take over the dukes and establish a new order, but his comrades get arrested. Bal's father has gotten drunk himself and falls off the stairs as his desperate son Bal tells him to stop trying to take power. Eventually the police arrive and Bal's father rushes to him, takes Bal's gun, and commits suicide. As the series continues, Tytania is going through a violent reorganization of power. Some of the dukes seem to have questionable intentions. Zarlick's desire to avenge Alcis gets him too emotional when it comes to Hyulick, and as more nobles enter Tytania, their egos get the best of them and they lash out. Somewhere else in space, Van Hyulick has run away on his own, but is found by Kaylin, the little girl who shined his shoes earlier in the series. She decides to take him in to her home and he meets her family. This was an important event for Hyulick, as it gave him time to clear his mind and move on from the death of Lyra. Kaylin herself shows him around the beautiful green scenery and cheers him up with her positive personality, music, and dancing performances that reminded me of Macross. Now level-headed, Hyulick thanks her and leaves. Lucky for him, he left just in time as Tytania had found his location and had just barely missed him. Hyulick soon returned to the ship, honest old man, and reunited with his comrades, who had been anxious about where he was. For their next plan, Hyulick decides to get captured on purpose. As Tytania had placed a ridiculous bounty on him, Alan disguised himself as the bounty hunter who would take the bounty, and afterwards Miranda would get Hyulick out of being detained. But the plan backfires as the payment was being sent in small parts, not all at once, and one of the soldiers recognized Alan when he went to the casino later to try and get more funds. He recognized the device Alan was using to cheat from earlier in the series. Everything goes wrong as they get detained by the same soldier. However, Miranda becomes irrational when she realizes it's the same man that had killed someone who was dear to her. She charges and manages to cause chaos and give everyone the chance to run for it. Alan and Hyulick go in one direction, but seeing as though Alan would get executed and Hyulick not, as they were confronted by soldiers, Hyulick pushes Alan into the water and surrenders himself. Back at Tytania, Balami has been bonding with Lydia. Bored of being in the castle, She made him show her around, and the two continued to get close. The Red Duke Ghislaine sees that Lydia has a very perceptive mind and is very smart for a 10-year-old princess. With Hyulick now arrested, Zarzlik rushes and meets with Hyulick. Hyulick, of course, decides to be sarcastic and pick at Zarzlik's words, but Hyulick gets assured he will be painfully executed for what he did to Zarzlik's brother Alsus. However, the faction that had caught Hyulick refused to just hand him over. Zarzlik demands him, but his faction reminds him that they have dignity and will go by the law instead of just doing whatever Tytania wants to do. This angers Zarzlik, who decides to invade them and try to force them to hand over Hyulick. During this, Hyulick's comrades have come up with another plan to get him out. Alan once again goes under disguise, and with the help of philosopher Dr. Lee's plan, they take a doctor hostage. With this new disguise, Alan plans to get into the prison to get Hyulick out and repay him for pushing him into the water earlier. To repay him, which saved him and allowed him to run away. In the prison, Hyulick accidentally bumps into a prisoner and knocks him down. He unfortunately made enemies with a very large man who seems to have a twin brother of equal size. Later, they decide to punish and hurt Hyulick, who stands no chance against them. With episode 19, Balami and Lydia meet with Idris' rude brother. He grabs Lydia and gets kicked in his private area by her. Balami steps in to help her, but Idris' brother tells him his dead father was a useless man. Bal, in rage, punches Idris' father in the face, and the two prepare to fight, but they are stopped and left waiting for their punishment. Idris and Ghislaine then have somewhat of a battle with each other with Ajuman, who is lower in their highness. Idris wants to relieve his brother of his recently acquired rank, wants Balami banished far, far away, and Lydia taken back to her castle. Ghislaine disagrees and argues that there has been a lack of evidence. He wants more details to emerge to show that Balami would not just resort to violence unless he had a good reason. So they're not aware of Idris' his brother being the one that was in the wrong. Idris tries to just brush Ghislaine off, and try to get Ajuman, their highness, to side with him. But Ajuman had received a letter from Lydia, since Balami was hesitant to tell the truth. With the letter, Idris is shocked to see he won't have his way now, as he wanted it. And though Balami was still getting sent away, he won't go too far, and Lydia will remain with Ghislaine. Now with Zarzlik preparing to invade a certain faction to force Fan Hyulick into his hands, Fan's comrades stepping into action, and Tytania having inner conflicts between their dukes, the series prepares to reach its conclusion for the series. I'm still really enjoying this series. It's still a 10 out of 10. The next video will be the last batch of episodes as the series concludes. I have found out a few things I want to talk about this series. That'll be for a later day. I did enjoy how Balami and Lydia get along. Even though Balami got sent far away, Lydia will still write to him letters. And she gives him one before he leaves and tells Balami to open it once he departs. And once Balami reads it, she assures him in the very first part of the letter that this is not a love letter. But she shows great appreciation for Balami, showing her around the city because she was getting bored at the castle. So there's a lot of arcs that are just kind of emerging. And now I'm approaching the end of the series with one more video. Thank you for listening.